adaptation, Regretting You, which is a Colleen Hoover masterpiece. I've interviewed Colleen Hoover. I think I'm one of the very few.
I haven't even met her.
You haven't met her?
No, she was filming another adaptation for us in Canada the whole time we were working on our movie. And so we FaceTimed, we talked via text and stuff, but I still haven't met her in person.
You have to. She's hilarious.
She's hysterical. I mean, that much I could get from books and also text.
Yes, she's really wonderful. Okay, so y'all know Allison. She's been kind of the queen of everything, but she's really specialized in horror of late. Yeah. Horror. That word always sounds like
horror.
Horror of late. Megan, Get Out. So what did it feel like to play mother-daughter role?
I was intimidated by the prospect of doing an adaptation. I've been part of adaptations before, but from a much more peripheral standpoint. I was in a series of unfortunate events, but I was only in the 3rd season of it, and I was in Fellow Travelers, and I played like a smaller part, and she's like one sentence in that book. But so this was the first time where I could read an entire book from the point of view of or half of a book from the point of view of the character I was going to be playing. So that in and of itself is intimidating. And also, as a lover of Colleen Hoover books myself, I know how clear my mental image is of every single house, character, car, location in all her books because her prose, she's so descriptive. And so it is intimidating to be part of a team that's making the declarative answer to all of those imagination things. Mm-hmm. And I was drawn to it because of all the reasons we love what she does. Her writing of character is extraordinary, and her story and plot are just perfect. It's the reason there's so many adaptations, because she's so good at figuring out when to reveal what from whom and to whom, and what the reader should know versus what the characters know at any given time. And I kind of wanted to make a movie that felt like the movie that my friends were continuously looking for and not finding on streaming platforms. It felt like everyone was kind of swiping through things, constantly being like, okay, I want to cry, but I don't want to feel broken, yes. Or I don't want to laugh and feel nothing, or I don't want to watch like a documentary that makes me feel like I should just pack it all up and get out of here and move to Siberia. It feels like something in the middle where you're dealing with the biggest themes in humanity: love, family, loss, self-realization, identity, redemption, passion, betrayal, all of those things. But it's set against the backdrop of a fairly pedestrian domestic situation of just a family that suffers a tremendous loss, and all the atoms therein rearrange themselves in the wake of it.
Adaptations can be intimidating because of all the reasons you just said, that readers... Reading is such an insular activity. You're thinking about these characters. You feel like you know them. Yeah. And I'm sure many of you have seen an adaptation where you're like, oh,
I know. It's stressful.
I've also seen, I'm trying to think of which example, but we've seen adaptations like yours that are brilliant.
Well, we felt really proud because early in the process, obviously along the way, making sure Colleen was happy with the material was very important, because she is the actual ultimate authority on what she wrote. And she was happy with the scripts and the casting and everything. And then as she started to see cuts of the movie, she was really, really happy. And this book is super personal to her. It's written a lot about her relationship, the relationship between her mom and her sister. And actually, there's a scene in the movie in a parking lot where 2 cars are parked too close to each other that is based on something that really happened with her mom and her sister. I won't spoil it, but it's very funny. And
I've also met her mom.
You have?
And her sister.
You know the whole, what?
I know the whole family.
Oh my, I'm very jealous. I feel like threatened right now.
She chose you for this role.
Well,
she didn't choose me.
Well, listen, you've been cutting your teeth in other places. You have skills that I certainly do not. I could not do this today, for example. Please. And I agree that you guys do a public service, by the way, just apropos of what you were saying earlier. Oh. I'm so glad that you feel like, legitimizing what you guys do, because it's so important. Sorry you doubted that for even.
Well, it wasn't. I just in.
No, I get it. It's like
relation to my sister who was commuting to Rwanda.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt a little silly being like, and I sit next to Kathy Lee. I mean, I love Kathy Lee. Nothing against Kathy Lee.
No.
Just against me,
I get it. I get it.
Yes.
It all helps.
Okay, we were talking adaptations.
Yeah.
And so Colleen Hoover, the year that I interviewed her, I'm not sure about last year, she outsold the Bible.
Yeah, I mean, she is one of the best-selling authors in the world.
So adaptations are always intimidating, but talk about when it comes to an audience. I think they call themselves the Hooverites. I mean, who here has read her work?
Yeah.
The whole room.
Yeah, a lot of hands.
So how do you think about the audience? you know?
I am the audience. So in that way, it's really easy. I actually am too scared to watch more horror movies. So in a way, this is really the first time I've made a movie that feels like I am the target audience. I am a mom. I don't have a teenager, but I have a toddler.
By the way, I was offended because you're younger than I am.
Exact same age difference as the characters in the movie. No joke. That is our exact age difference.
Okay.
The point is that my character became a mom at 17.
Yes.
And now her daughter's turning 17, and she wants to shepherd her through that stage, making different choices. And in that poetic way, almost steers her right into the same choices that she made because she's trying to control her too much. Maybe she learns, maybe she doesn't. I know. But yeah, I mean, I felt like it just is it's so hard to describe. It's like a pursuit that felt really important, and it felt like something I had to at least try to take on, especially because I felt like I loved the book. I love Colleen Hoover. I understand what's appealing about her. I know what it feels like to both want to read something that's like stretching my mind and introducing me to, nonfiction ideas, and then also wanting to read a book that is just familiar and also slightly exaggerated and outsized in a way that is still escapism and is still departure, but feels proximate in that same way. And so, yeah, it's been helpful to be able to keep myself honest in the process of making the movie, try to ground it all in reality and keep it all relatable.
Have you heard from people that have seen it?
So many.
And readers, and what have they said?
Yes, actually, this is surreal. I played Peter Pan on live television a while ago, and one of the little boys who was one of the darlings, who's now insanely enough, because it's been so long, he's in college. And when he found out I was in the movie, he was like, "This is my favorite book."
Did you play Peter Pan?
I played Peter Pan on live television.
I can't remember that.
I can't believe that you don't remember that.
Well, I'm a fan of yours. I'm sure I watched that.
Christopher Walken was Captain Hook.
Oh yeah, I do kind of remember it.
Yeah, it was the craziest thing I've ever done.
I forgot that you were cast as Peter Pan.
I was Peter Pan.
Okay.
The one flying around, the boy question mark.
Yes. Another adaptation.
Exactly. So John texted me and was like, "I can't believe you're in this. This is my favorite book. I've read it more than any other book I think I've ever read." I'm like, "How cool. You're like a freshman in college and you're reading these books." And he texted me from the theater last night, and he was so effusive about it. He took all his friends. He's going again on Tuesday. It was very sweet. And I was like, okay, now I'm personally invested because I know you, and I'm playing one of your favorite characters in a book, and I'm really I knew when he was going to see it because I was nervous about hearing his review. I've heard from a lot of my friends who took their daughters who are like 13, 12, and who've had the best time. It really is kind of, at its core, a love story to mother-daughter relationships, but it also has a lot of other relationships in it. An older love story, a younger one. There's something for everybody.
It's something for everybody. I need to take my tween.
Yeah.
My nearly 13.
I think that would be a good experience, actually.
So because it really is this story of motherhood in so many ways, you have a toddler. Do you feel like this is a part, and I don't like, this question always is kind of crazy because I'm not an actor, but you could have played so well without being a mom yourself?
It's the so well part that I don't know. And also, who knows, I could have maybe done a better job if I had actually already parented a teenager. Acting is so much imagination, but in my view, you have to come into it with a certain amount of personal experience in order to ground it in reality or something. You have to have something to hang on to. And for me, it was such a gift to know what it feels like to look into the face of a person that came out of my body and be like, oh my God, the love is so hard to describe, and to be able to summon the way that feels was very helpful for playing this part. And also a really relatable desire. Morgan just wants to protect her from everything, which is something I relate to. And if I didn't know better, I would just try to bubble wrap him and just keep him. I mean, he'd be the weirdest person in the world. But it's very appealing because when you first are handed them, they're so tiny and helpless, and then eventually they're like, no, let them fall and get hurt. That's important. And you're like, wait, what? I missed a step between keeping them alive with every spare second of my life, and then now I'm just supposed to let the boo-boos happen. And
I know. And then the boo-boos become like my teenage boo-boos, like getting a minor in possession of alcohol when your dad's president of the United States, which felt like a boo-boo that I'm like, oh, sorry, Dad, you know?
Honestly, that's such an iconic thing to be able to bring up. It's really.
I mean, I'm not sure why I went there, but
I am, because that was your job at that stage of life. This is literally like the thing. This is what I am told relates toddlerhood with teenagerhood from a parenting standpoint. The job is to push the boundaries so that you can find them. And also with teenagerhood, you've got a lot of hormones in there, and so you get this strong away message, but also they have never needed you more.
Right.
And so you were literally doing your job. You were doing your job under kind of extraordinary circumstances.
I was also like nearly 21.
Listen. Was your prefrontal cortex done?
No. And
Case
also,
closed.
I mean, I think the whole point, and there's some of this in this film and in the book for sure, which is that we have to let our kids live their own lives, have their own beliefs, believe whatever they want to believe, and also fail. Like, not everything can be perfect. And I feel like, and sadly, in the world, like, it was easier for my parents to let us do that than in the world.
Well, because their parents were like, where have you been for 2 days?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just changed really quickly.
Exactly.
My parents say I love you all the time, and from their parent generation to them, I love you was written like in messy handwriting on a card and like stuffed into someone's hand.
Yes.
Like that was it, you know? And in one generation, I mean, I'm like, our generation's like sucking snot out of kids' noses.
I know.
It's like,
we're
we've maybe gone too far.
We've overdone it.
We'll find our middle ground eventually.
Exactly.
But it is true. And I mean, my character is deeply afraid of everything. She's scared of risks. She's scared of having regrets in the future, and it holds her back from doing things. And her daughter, if she would just take 2 seconds and watch, is living so much more bravely. And by the end of the movie, my character kind of does realize that emulating that would be a tonic to her nervous system.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting how fear and love,
they're twins,
can be so similar.
For sure,
and then also such opposites.
Yes.
Okay, so we have to talk girls because we're in New York City.
We are.
And I've rewatched it, or at least some of it recently, and it's so fun. I mean, it's so wild that it's kind of held up.
It really has. I mean, I definitely didn't anticipate that I would be talking about the show to new viewers of the show as much as I am these days. It's really fun. And also, anything that makes me feel cool with Gen Z makes me very happy. It doesn't happen a lot. So the fact that there's a lot of support for my character specifically, who was like hated in her time and is celebrated today, is baffling.
I know. Was that odd? Because I feel like I was living in New York City when the show, I mean, yes, now, but in New York when the show aired, and you probably were too.
Yeah.
People weren't rude to you, were they?
They were rude to me.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, I don't know how to put this. It must have been jarring. I have a lot of sympathy for them because, like, here they are in Soul Cycle, say, right? And they see me. And Occam's Razor is like, that's Marnie. And they're not wrong. It's just like, because they just, watched an episode of Girls the night before, and then here I am. I look essentially identical to this person, and I'm in a spinning class, and that's something she would do.
Totally.
In fact, we wrote a whole arc where she was a spin instructor that we cut because Broad City did it first, so we then gave her a different job.
But that was also like a really spinny time.
It was a very spinny time.
People spent a lot of time. I mean, I spent the day I gave birth to my eldest child.
That's what?
I know. Well, I didn't know I was giving birth to
Okay, that's...
Yeah.
Like I was having a seance.
No, I didn't know.
That's what. That's scary.
She was pissed.
Okay, yeah, she was like,
and I don't blame her.
People are still spinning, or like in a 16 handles, like wherever I was,
totally.
Wherever I was, people were just like, yeah, that's probably Marnie, and the show was so grounded and naturalistic that actually, for most people who didn't really think we were acting, I'm happy to say that we were. I mean, it wasn't like a pornographic documentary about our 20s. That would be strange.
Really weird.
But it's a testament to Lena's like aesthetic and her writing that it felt so accessible. And I also think that's why, for my peers at least, it was a little bit like, I need some distance from this. I can't do this yet. And now they're watching it and they're having much more fun with it. But people would, upon realizing that I just play Marnie, they would just like unleash to me about her. And I always was like defensive of her.
Totally.
I know.
You were like, she's misunderstood.
I did say that. But I also understood what made her so annoying and frustrating.
But also, I hope that we were and are in a place where we can differentiate the person from the actor.
I hope so too. TBD.
We're not sure.
Yeah.
You actually wanted to be an actor. I mean, I love saying this. I've done the research, but tell me if this is wrong. From a young age.
Yeah, really little.
How old were you?
I think like 3 or 4. But I also am told, I don't know if any of you have actor children, so I'm not ignoring all of you. I just, Mike will stop picking up my audio. I do like you all a lot.
It really will stop picking up. And you know how she knows that? She does a podcast.
That's true. I know about directionality of microphones.
Yes, you do.
I told them, but anyone who has a child who's an actor, they don't really have to tell you. It's like apparently very obvious.
Yes.
I don't know because there's no footage of me that I wasn't aware was being filmed of me back then. Mm-hmm. So we don't have any historical record that isn't broken by my awareness of the camera.
Yes.
So I don't know, but my parents say I was just very theatrical. They also had this sense that I just wasn't going to be mentally okay if I started acting at a young age. And they were absolutely right. That's not true for everyone. Mason and McKenna, who are in this movie, for example, are extraordinary actors and human beings and absolutely can handle every inch of the insane career moment they're going through. Mm-hmm. They are grounded. They have great families. Their personalities are right for it. My parents were right about me. I would have crumbled into nothing. It would have been a disaster. And so they said, you just have to go to college and graduate from college. And then I never really pushed them to give me what the and then was. I was so obedient that I didn't need it. They just said that I had to. And I was like, okay, fine, I will. And so I went to college. And then while I was in high school and college, I did work on sets, behind the scenes, mm-hmm. helping people, stand-in, production assistant, all that stuff. And then I did plays and did a few auditions just to know what it was like, and studied improv comedy in college, but was an English major. And then when I graduated, I made a music video and put it online. And
by the way, I was obsessed with you. You can ask my sister.
I will.
I had kind of a girl crush, which is weird for me to admit this
really fun.
Right now. But she made this music video that I can't remember how. I'll call Barbara later. I found it on the internet, but I was obsessed. I probably watched it. I made it go viral.
I'm so grateful. I'm very grateful.
And this was before things went viral, really.
It's exactly. And this is an example. I talk a lot about there's a whole conversation about nepo babies and privilege and everything. And I'm like, it's 100% a phenomenon. And this is one of the first examples
yes.
of my career. So because I am, my dad was a newscaster, and because
he was my colleague.
He's the best.
He's
and because
the best.
I'm his daughter, it adds a little sparkle to a headline about something that I do. So I make this music video that I was very proud of and I thought was good.
You were excellent.
Probably because I'm my dad's daughter, it got picked up places. Mm-hmm. And because of that, Judd Apatow saw it on the Huffington Post, and he was in the process. They were trying to cast the role of Marnie in Girls, mm-hmm. and they hadn't been able to find anyone. And I had just moved to LA 10 days prior, and they decided to move casting to Los Angeles from New York 10 days prior, and they asked me to come in and audition, and I was like, amazing, I'll go do this, my first audition in LA, and it's not going to work, but what an amazing opportunity. And it did work, and it worked out really well. But that's just an example of I think it's so crazy when people deny that having connections is helpful. It's just I can't even their foundation is there. There's a net underneath that not everybody has, and if you're going into a creative pursuit knowing that there's only so far you can fall, it is a fundamentally different pursuit than it is if you are leaving your hometown with nothing except your aspirations and your skill. And to not acknowledge that seems insane to me. Yeah.
I mean, I for sure can relate to that. And also...
yeah, I was like, do I bring her into this with me or do I let her do it?
Yeah, I mean, I can for sure relate to that because I wrote a book and was on the Today Show. I mean...
Yeah,
now I've started a book club where I have authors on the Today Show, but that doesn't happen for every author.
No.
And that was because my dad was president of the United States.
Yeah.
I will also say you were so talented.
That's so nice.
And you were so hardworking. And I have gone to a lot of therapy because I worked so hard to prove something.
I know.
And Maria Shriver finally was like, who are you trying to prove it to?
It doesn't matter.
Who are you proving it to? So you and I...
It's true.
That later.
Well, basically, I think a lot of the reason people in our world, when they're asked about this, get defensive is because they believe that that's what the question is coming for.
Right.
It's trying to take all of their skill,
away.
their hard work. And no one can take my hard work from me.
No.
Like, that's mine. And my skill is up to everyone else to decide.
Right.
And unfortunately, as much as I love control, I'm never going to be able to make everyone like me.
Totally.
I'm going to try for the rest of my life, but it's not going to be successful, I'm told. So I feel like there's been a certain amount of surrender to that as I've gotten older, which is such a relief. But the first step of it, at least I find with other actors especially, is just saying the quiet part out loud of the unfairness. Like, because that is something that when you're watching from the wings and trying to get into the business and you need to get someone to open the door for you, it is maddening to watch people just waltz through it and not struggle the way you are. And I just think, I don't know, we are so lucky. My parents kind of raised me to see the amount of luck and privilege I was born with as like a surplus that I need to, by the end of my life, if I do enough good in my lifetime, I will have retroactively earned the amount of good I was born into. I would have to do a lot.
But by the way, that's so true. And it's also, I mean, yes, all of this is acknowledged. And I know your parents a little, and I feel this way about mine. They also made me feel like I could do anything.
I know, but even that is so
well,
lucky.
Totally, exactly,
it's incredible.
And I was able to, go to. I went to public school, but to go to great schools, take AP classes, and
all
even though, speaking of the parenting problem, my mom found a letter I wrote to her from camp, and she was like, "Jen, I got your AP scores back. Bad news." You got a 2 in Spanish.
Oh.
But the good news is
Dios mío.
You got a 5 in psychology, and I didn't even know you took AP psychology. And I told Henry, I'm like, we got a real problem. Like, why are we helping Mila with all of her homework? Like,
I didn't even know you took
I didn't
AP
even
psychology.
know you took AP psychology. My sister applied to a school when I was on a trip with her in Rome, without my parents knowing, paper application, and got in. So my parents were like, I guess we have to let her go. Like, you have to, like, have some initiative.
Incredible.
When you have a little bit of benign neglect in the household, you have to do things for yourself.
My son is probably, like, desperate for me to hear those words and absorb benign neglect as a new tactic,
There was
but
something,
unfortunately.
but it wasn't the word benign neglect, but there was some recent article about, it was like, hands-off parenting is the best.
It's not the language I speak, unfortunately.
Well, to end, because they're like, you've gone too long.
Oh, sorry.
Which is so typical.
We could just chat
I
forever.
know. But because this is a night about literacy and reading and we're celebrating books, what's one book you would recommend to this audience?
Well, I'm rereading it right now because it's one of my favorites of all time, and I'm kind of into rereading old favorites that I haven't read in a minute, but Homegoing by Yag Yazi is like one of the greatest books I've ever read in my life, and I'm rereading it right now, and it is somehow better than I remembered, and the economy of storytelling and her prose and her word choice and her pacing, I just could go on and on. It's a brilliant book, and I highly recommend it.
She's a Read with Jenna author. We chose
her second book?
Transcendent Kingdom.
Incredible. But I just love Homegoing, so I would recommend that to everybody. And it's also just an important, expansive view of part of our past that's really tough to reckon with.
I feel like any book you remember where you were when you read that.
Yes.
And I remember where I finished it with, I had a 2-year-old. I mean, it must have been 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
And my cat, Bernadette, who's now in cat heaven, laying with me. And it was
so
beautiful.
nice.
I know. Well, Allison, I hope all of you have, who has seen?
Has anyone seen it? It just came out, so.
Okay, well, a lot. That's a lot of people.
Okay.
Who will go see it? Okay, I've seen it, but all of you, please go see it. Allison.
I promise. I think you'll like. I feel like we know each other now, and I think you're gonna like it.
It's out in theaters. Take your daughters, take your sisters. Go.
My dad cried. Take your dads and husbands.
Your dad cried.
He cried, and he's not biased at all in any way. But I got both parents. That's the first time that's happened. They've been scared of me many times.
I was gonna say,
made them cry a lot.
You didn't make them cry in Megan.
No,
I
we're
cried.
just scared.
Well, thank you, Allison. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.